As educators in a 21st century classroom, we all recognize the need to adapt to the changing global environment. This is an environment in which accessibility to information is at an all-time high, and our students are not immune to this. Face-to-face interactions are becoming obsolete, and professional and personal networks are being shifted to digital forums. Instead of fighting this now common trend, let's address how and why we've gotten to this point, and what we can do to prepare our students for life outside the classroom. In order to better understand the role of digital or social media in today's classroom, we must understand the role that networks play in our daily lives. According to Pedram, in the developed world, we increasingly live in a network society structured around digital communications. And thanks to the growing individualization of society since the 1960s, we interact as networked individuals whose social networks are based more on choice and interest than geography or tradition. To remain relevant in this era, educational institutions must foster network literacy, teaching students about and through networks, and helping them to establish and manage their own personal learning networks. It is increasingly evident that navigating overlapping personal, social, and professional networks requires a level of network literacy which is not as widespread as often assumed. In order to empower young people to make effective use of networks, capitalizing on their benefits while avoiding some of the more obvious pitfalls, it is essential to begin fostering network literacy in educational institutions. Now that we've looked at the how and the why we've gotten to this point, let's address some of the pros and cons of incorporating social media into our classrooms. Engaging in various forms of social media is a routine activity that research has shown to benefit children and adolescents by enhancing communications, social connections, and even technical skills. Additionally, as Pedram puts it, networks flatten hierarchies and blur boundaries as they overrun taxonomies and categories with freer flows of information and communication. Essentially, we're relinquishing the reins away from ourselves and giving the power back to the students. There will obviously be some challenges as we move away from the traditional classroom environment, but let me tell you, all these challenges are very manageable. Two challenges immediately come to mind: classroom distractions and keeping a professional work environment. With a wide variety of applications and resources, however, there are many ways to quell these issues. One such application is called Edmodo. Edmodo allows teachers to engage with both students and teachers simultaneously or individually. There are settings for individual classes or for all of your classes to be engaged at once. Really, Edmodo should be considered a multifunctional tool that can be used to connect classroom content with 21st century learning environments, making those ever-important classroom networks more accessible than ever. In conclusion, we know that social media is here to stay. Therefore, let's use it to our students' advantage and educate them on the do's and don'ts of 21st century communication.